Okay, today we are going to make a model of our earth, and we are going to show the different layers of our earth and talk about the different elements that settled in each of those layers during the formation of our planet. So we're going to begin with the core, and we're going to use red. Now, I just got Play-Doh, but you could make your own, like salt Play-Doh and use food coloring. You could use clay. And I'm going to make my core pretty small because I'm going to be building as I go. It's going to be getting larger. So here, I'm going to roll it up. Here is the core of our earth. The inner core is solid iron and nickel. It is very hot and it is under great pressure. Now we're going to move to the outer core, and I'm going to use some orange, and I want to flatten it out because I'm going to wrap it around the core. I'm going to create a layer. Let's see if that's enough. Oh, I think I can make it work. Fold this in. Looks like I'll have a little extra. And I'm going to try not to squeeze my core too much so that it stays round. Okay, got some extra there. And just kind of even it out, roll it up, round it out. Okay, now we have our inner core and then our outer core. The outer core is the liquid layer that surrounds the inner core, and it's composed of nickel and iron. Next we have the mantle, and we're going to use yellow. See if that's enough. Take off the extra. Kind of roll it up, smooth it out. Don't want to squeeze it too much. Oh, I've got some air bubbles in there. It's interesting. Okay, here is our mantle. The mantle is the rocky layer that is mostly solid, but it is partly melted in some areas. It's composed mostly of silicate rock. Next comes the crust. However, I don't have any brown to represent the crust. So I heard that if I take some red and some orange and some yellow and I mix it together, that I can get a brown. Let's see what happens. Brown for our crust. That doesn't seem very brown to me. I wonder what else I can add. How about, let's just try some blue. Look at that. I'm starting to see some brown. Yep, I think it's working. Okay, let me get this mixed up really well. All right, guys, so I mixed and added, and I kind of have a brown here. We're going to go with it. Brown for our crust. Okay. There we go. The crust is the rigid, rocky outer surface of the earth. It's thinner under the oceans and thicker in mountainous regions. It's composed mostly of basalt and granite. Now we are going to add some blue for water. And the water on Earth has a special name. It's called the hydrosphere. Let's add the hydrosphere. I'd have to patch this one together a little bit. That's okay. If you wanted to do this at home, you could try looking up a quick salt dough recipe or a Kool-Aid Play-Doh recipe, or maybe even just some clay from the Dollar Tree. There we go. There's our hydrosphere. The hydrosphere is made up of all the bodies of water on the earth. It floats upon the crust. The deepest point is in the Marianas Trench in the Pacific Ocean, measuring about 7 miles deep. Next, we're going to add some continents to our crust and hydrosphere. And these are not going to be perfect because it's kind of hard to form tiny continents perfectly. So I'm going to work on, it's kind of Australia. That might be a little too big. I'm going to work on these continents. Okay, I've completed my model of the Earth, and I did not try to make my continents perfect. I think it would be fun to take the time to do that and maybe take a little pencil or a paper clip, something sharp to try to shape them. But now we are going to take some dental floss and we're going to cut through the center of our Earth to see if we can see all of the layers that we built. So here we go. The dental floss should cut through without squishing the layers together. Almost through. Oh, there we go. Let's see how it worked. Ta-da! We can see all of the layers that we created. The core, the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, the crust, the hydrosphere. So this was just a fun way to show that when the earth formed, those dense materials moved to the center, which we call the inner core, and the less dense materials floating out into the top to form these outer layers.